What's up? It is Coaching Success Radio. It is William. Welcome to the podcast. I am super excited about today's show. We have an incredible guest joining us today. Her name is Alex Agresta. She is a TEDx speaker coach, which means that she helps the people who are going to talk on a TED Talk. She gives them coaching and helps them just become a amazing, better speaker to go up in front of the crowd. Most of the people who are on TED aren't professional speakers. So to have somebody go and walk along with you and get that training just before you go on and kind of help you through that process is amazing. Now, she did this just after we had our podcast, so she doesn't go into all that detail about that, but I wanted you to know that. I wanted you to know that she is an incredible fireball of personality. She has a lot of passion for bringing and marrying together the purpose that you are in your business along with business strategies to help you succeed. You're going to hear a lot of really good stuff, tons of great content, and hopefully you'll just be swept up in the energy that is Alex Agresta. As I build my coaching business, I want to know how to effectively serve clients and make more money doing it. This podcast will pull back the curtain to reveal exactly how successful coaches are building their empires. Join me as I engage with top coaches from all over the world to discover their secrets. No theatrics and no theory, just real life strategy. My name is William Winterton, and this is Coaching Success Radio. All right, welcome everybody. It's William Winterton again, and I'm here with the lovely Alex Agresta. How are you, Alex?
I am energized and excited. That's how I'm feeling right now.
That is awesome. That is everything about you that I have known in this little bit of time that I've known you. Those
Yes.
are like two major key components of your DNA. That's what I understand.
Yes,
So
you got that spot on.
that's awesome. So super excited about today's interview because Alex is just a kind of a total firecracker of energy and lots of really good stuff. And I'm really excited to hear some of the things that she's going to share about her own coaching business, some of the things she's been through, some of the things that she's been able to overcome and things that she's experienced and little tips and tricks and tons of cool, like just goodies that she's just going to just pour out on us. So I'm super thrilled. I don't want to go too much into this. Do you want to tell me kind of how you became a coach and how that journey started? Can we start there?
Yes, it's really funny. My business partner and I were just talking about this. He was like, I didn't even know what a coach was a year ago. And I was like, me too. I was like, we just became entrepreneurs because we wanted to do cool stuff and never knew. Both of us had no idea we were going to get into this coaching world. So the real raw answer is I had no idea what coaching was just a year ago. I didn't know I was going to become a coach. But as I just, kept speaking my truth, putting myself out there and getting also into the online world, I also found out a lot of coaches are online. So I wasn't there yet. So I didn't even know that world. As I kept getting, seeing more and more of this world, I feel like I found my home. Coaches, I believe, are inherently purpose-driven. They want to transform people from the inside out. They have pure intentions. They are here for impact. And that is what I am all about. So I really accidentally became a coach. And I think that's the coolest and weirdest thing at the same time. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. I came from, my first company was in the tech startup world, which is just total, it's a complete 180 from, or 90 degree, I don't know, something crazy from the coaching world. And I just feel it's so much more hyper connected here. And I feel like I can express those feelings of love and joy and connection that I didn't really feel in other areas of entrepreneurship as much as I do here. So yeah, accidentally became a coach. And now I'm owning it and I love it. And I empower other coaches too. So I'm just like, it's like coachception.
Got it. Nice.
Awesome.
Love it. What is so you're a coach, but of what? Like, what is your main feel? Like, if what's your main coaching industry?
So we actually, when my business partner and I started out, we're co-partners in all the things. So I talk about them a lot. We didn't define ourselves in it as any coach. Because we were still finding our footing and, there's so many realms of coaching. Like, who do we want to serve? How do we want to serve them? So we decided to create our own thing, our own niche. So we are purpose and profit alignment coaches. So
nice.
we empower other coaches to, yes, create their purpose-driven coaching company, but it's all about making sure their purpose and their profit are always growing together. I think it's really easy to get caught up in the online world of the marketing and the sales and all this. It's fun stuff, but it could be a little overwhelming and bog us down. And I think sometimes that hardcore like element of entrepreneurship fogs us coaches of what we're really here to do. We have gifts and we are here for a unique and compelling purpose. And we really infuse that into an entire business strategy and the way that coaches think and do and say and operate from.
So how do you feed yourself into that? Because apparently, so I know going from the tech world, and I get that world a little bit. I have a little bit of experience, and I was in real estate for a long time. I get worlds that are like you're in one avenue, and all of a sudden you jump into coaching, and it's a paradigm shift in your mind because you've got to be able to put aside some of the, all like you said, all the techie stuff and all the little the impersonal areas of that world. And coaching is a very personal, one-on-one relationship kind of world. So when you're helping businesses, and I think that's awesome what you just said, as far as growing their purpose and their profits at the same time. I think that's awesome. How do you feed yourself to like, where do you find it to help people out with that? As far as like, how do you, let me see if I can ask this right, because clearly you have a point and purpose to what you're doing. So how do you feed people into that? How do people, what's kind of the strategy? Take me through kind of a walkthrough if I was going to come to you.
I think that's an awesome question because purpose, I think, is perceived as a somewhat lofty thing, right? It's this thing that's bigger than ourselves. Sometimes people feel it inside of them. They can't fully articulate it. So we have this beautiful balance of systems and spirituality, right? Okay. Purpose is spiritual. It's that faith-based thing that we have. It's that vision. So we meet in the middle and we're all about systematizing purpose. Sounds crazy, right? Like when we started doing this, we're like, how do we create systems and processes around purpose-driven business? So that was our thing. We're like, we love structure. We love being able to create and flow, but that balance between the both. So we've created like full-blown systems, frameworks. We like to call them mental models, right? When we're teaching different ways of thinking and being, it's a model that we have in our brain to go off of. So we've created them. So to give you just some tangible examples, one tool that I love is called the car model. So if you saw it drawn out, it would totally make sense. It ends up looking like a car driving on the lanes, but it's a decision-making tool. Okay. So the biggest thing, not only when we were just working with coaches, but we were also working with CEOs of large companies to help develop a purpose-driven culture. And the common theme that I saw in everything that I was doing, that life is just decisions. So is business. Life and business is just decisions. We make 35,000 decisions a day. So I was like, how the hell are people making decisions in business? Like how are they going through this process in their brain? So as my business partner and I got into purpose-driven work, we developed this tool, a values-based and purpose-driven decision-making tool. So essentially you have this decision-making process, right? This is where we're systematizing purpose and values. And there's this systematic way to go. I'm going to take in these elements, I'm going to put them into the machine, and it's going to spit an outcome out that is desirable to me. So it's this big like purpose machine. It's really cool and badass.
You're taking something that's very abstract and you created a system that helps to kind of solidify it and make it actually tangible, and you can actually see a result in a process rather than just abstractly saying, well, what do you feel? And kind of go through this long ethereal thing, right? And that's what's so challenging. That's awesome. That sounds fascinating.
Yeah, we can be a very abstract, like when when I'm talking with clients and when we're talking about our movement, like it can become an abstract conversation. But I was like, I love entrepreneurship and I love the structure and the systems of this world. And I want to marry the two because purpose and vision and values are everything. They are what we are made up of. It is a part of us. And I want to bring that down to earth in a way that makes sense and gets people excited. So it's all about balance, marrying opposite things and seeing the magic that can happen.
I'm in awe and impressed. So you've only been doing this for about a year though, right? So you said you just kind of got started in 2018, I guess.
2017. So we're actually going on 2 years in July. So we're about a year and a half right now. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So think back now to that starting point when you were first kind of getting the ball rolling with you and your partner trying to figure this stuff out. And clearly, this was a little bit of a blue ocean kind of an idea. I know there's a lot of people who do a lot of life coaching and a lot of business strategy, and then there are certainly spiritual coaches trying to kind of meld those two together. What were some of the biggest hurdles that you had to that hit you right away with either clients who weren't buying into your idea or systems that you thought were in place that were going great and all of a sudden they squashed down like, oh, that didn't work? Like, what are some things that didn't play?
That is an awesome question. So the first thing was it made sense in my head, but it was at this time, it was so philosophical and abstract and, very stoic at that time.
Right.
And the biggest challenge, like I have a strong suit of articulation. I love communication. I practice being able to speak and communicate with people, right? I'm like, I know I can do this. But then when I'm talking about this topic of purpose and purpose-driven business, it's just complete mush. I'm like, what's going on? So the biggest hurdle, and I mean, I would get really frustrated because I'm like, I'm speaking this, like, why aren't people understanding me? Like, what is going on? So there was a bridge of communication that I had to dig and dig and dig and say, you know what, if I want to marry spiritual world and structure world, then holy crap, I'm going to have to dig even more. And I'm going to figure out the balance of how can I meet everyone halfway. So that was a huge hurdle to overcome. I mean, I would say we really, for a good 8 to 10 months, we were getting clients, but refining our message to getting it down to something that everybody can understand, even someone that's not going to ever buy from us. That's what we wanted to get it down to.
Right.
And we finally refined and refined and refined. But it took courage. It took curiosity. It took removing my ego. It took so many emotions and commitments to do that. And that is actually something that we found is so important that's something that we now help with. We're like, oh my God, we went through this. The articulation piece that you all need to understand how to do this too. So that was the first hurdle. And then the second hurdle was, this is hilarious. I call it throwing up our purpose on people. So we were so excited. My business partner and I were like, we have no idea what we're going to do, but we know we have this vision and we're just going to do everything that we can.
Right.
And it got to a point where we were just throwing up our vision and our purpose on people. And yeah, it was like, woohoo, hurrah. But they're like, yeah, good luck. See you later. And we're like, wait, you don't want to buy from us? It was this cute, naive thought process that just because we were purpose-driven, that everyone was going to buy our stuff and it was going to be amazing. So, we learned really quickly. I'm like, oh, so we need an ideal client and we need to know everything about them. And yes, we can speak on our platform to a large amount of people, but we need to understand the person that wants to purchase from us better than they can understand themselves. So they feel understood. So they do know that we are doing this for someone like them. So we learned that the hard way. We did a lot of stuff thinking it was going to work, and it didn't. But it led us here, which is amazing.
So it's very much of this is totally a long game business, coaching anyway, and developing.
Yeah, it's an infinite game.
And you're going to keep creating and keep going. So, those are awesome. And that's actually, it kind of leads me to thinking, because when you guys had started doing this, for myself, I have coaches that I work with as well, but I also have I have 2 coaches of my own that I refer to and go to for my own help. I have to go and I'm like, I need help on my own end. Do you have a coach, or do your partner have a coach? Do you guys have people you seek coaching from?
Hell yes. I believe all coaches need coaches.
Yeah.
Whatever category of coaching you're in. Yeah, I found, so there was about 6 months of a gap that we did not have a coach. And since then, there has never been a lull. Every time our coaching experience is about to end, we decide if we want to stay or we find something else. I think maybe there's a period of a week where we don't have a coach and we're on to the next thing that we need. And I found that when I have that support and that person or people, sometimes I have little bands of coaches, like if I'm in this big group coaching program, if I have these people that believe in me with undying support and belief, and they push me and they want to see me succeed, I do 10 times better than when I don't have a coach. I function so well with that type of community and that support that to me, I can't not have a coach now. it's a non-negotiable.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
So go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, we start seeing the results of, like you said, you got that time period where you didn't have a coach, and suddenly you start to realize that valley you're in, and you're like, no, I don't want to be here. If I have to, come up with whatever level you're at, maybe your coaches have to change whatever, but you've got to have somebody else, a third party, to keep you accountable. I think you're absolutely right.
Coaches empower you to get results quicker,
Yep.
and in a way that's meaningful to you. It's to me, I will invest anything. There is no cap on the amount of money and time and energy that I will invest into myself, and also into a coach that will help me invest in myself.
That's awesome.
Unlimited. Yeah, it's unlimited.
So, all right, so let me go back into your business, because again, this is interesting. So what is your background? You said you had a tech background. So what is it that finally triggered you? Because a lot of the coaches that I'm working with, and I've been working with, the struggle is finding really what their purpose is as a coach. They know they want to help people. They are burning with passion to make a better world, to change the world, to speak their voice, and all that stuff is just really beautiful. But it doesn't translate unless you actually have somebody specific that you're talking to. So when you're trying to focus in, it sounds like you work with two major clients. It sounds like you work with other coaches and then business owners. Is that but non-coaching business owners? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Is that right?
We have like 2 branches. Yes.
Okay. So whenever you're working with a coach, or I guess with a coach, probably more applicable to this, but how do you help somebody find the niche or find what it is that they're actually looking for? I know there's, like I said, there's a passion to go and do good, but then how do you actually, for yourself even, to carve out, like, this is specifically the people I want to work with? Because clearly you're very passionate, but how did you get that narrowed down to these are the people?
So I love this question, and I only know this from my tech startup background. So the tech startup world that I was in is a lot of, I don't know if you or anyone that's listening have heard of lean startup methodologies, agile methodologies. It's a simplified, fluid way to do business. And it's like the quote unquote fail fast methodology.
Yep.
Quick, be nimble. So I learned this nifty little thing called customer discovery. And it changed my life, changed my business. It changed the way I see entrepreneurship. So I took that into my coaching world for myself of finding who I want to work with. And now this is what I teach to my clients as well. So what customer discovery is, it's moving away from the guesses. This is what I see a lot, not just coaches, a lot of entrepreneurs. This is the person I want to work with, and they're just going to buy what I have, and we're good, right? That was me. I was just guessing and assuming. So what we need to do as coaches and as any other entrepreneur in the world is boots on the ground research. Go out there, and what I say is validate your guesses. Who are the handful of people that you want to work with that you think will buy your product? Now, instead of building a business on a pure assumption, like 95% of businesses are built on assumption. And I'm over here like, go out there and ask these people. They'll tell you, I promise. People love talking about themselves, right? I'm talking about myself right now, and it's awesome. We love talking about ourselves. They will tell you, especially if you ask the right questions. So you go out there, you validate your guesses, you have interviews with these potential customers, and you get the data that you need to build a product or a service around this person that is like, yes, I will hand you a hell of a lot of money for what you have. Build it. And let me know. So that's what it is. I am so passionate now about the person that I work with because I went on a relentless pursuit to learn about them, have interviews with them over and over and over again. Clients that have went through my program, I would get on calls and say, okay, can I ask you more questions? Goals, pains, desires, fears, results, all these things. We cannot live in assumptions as entrepreneurs. We got to go out there. We got to validate it. So yeah, customer discovery in all its glory.
So basically just go and ask a question, and then you create the product based on what people are asking you for. And you've already got your warm audience has already told you what they want. So you build it for them, and it's like, here. And they're like, holy crap, how did you know? Right?
Exactly. That's the beauty. I always say you want your audience to go, how did they know that? And then I'm like, you told me.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, damn, it's like everything I wanted. So that leads me then to say, okay, so you've got these customers, and so I don't know, like this has been growing and building for you, but the kind of an interesting thing, I haven't really asked very many people on these interviews about this, but has there ever been a point where you feel like, because clearly you're not lacking in energy, right? And I don't know, your business partner probably the same way, or maybe he's kind of the pole that holds you down. I don't know, but you so badly want to help, and this is kind of where I'm at too. I just like, if you could just see where I'm taking you,
Yeah.
Have you ever had a client though that really struggles with this, and almost to the point where you're like, okay, look, it's not working. We got to let you go, or something else has got to change. Have you ever gotten that situation where you're almost at a point where you clearly understand that you're not able to help this person? Has that ever happened, or has that ever seemed like it's on the horizon for you?
Yes. I've had a few scenarios where it's on the horizon of, wow, like this is my ideal client. This is someone that I love. This is someone that I know I can help. And here's where I've learned how to separate it. So for myself and the systems and processes that I've created, it works. We've proved it on ourselves as a business. We've proved it in other types of businesses. So we know that works. There's proven results. So I know that when I find someone that has these pain points that needs this system, if they implement it, I know it's going to work in some capacity, right?
Right.
So then when I sense that something's off and something's not working, I'm always seeing if it's the system. I'm like, okay, do we need to fix things here? I'm always reiterating or iterating it. But then I go, where are they at mentally, right? We can have the best processes and systems in the world that are going to make us millions. If we are not empowered and working through fears and trauma and things that we have up here in our head and our heart, that is not going to work. So what I found is, the clients that don't see as much success with the system and the purpose-driven business things that we've created are potentially in a rut mindset-wise. Perhaps they have some fears or self-limiting beliefs that subconsciously that are affecting how they're showing up in business. So I've separated the business and the mindset, and that actually has shaped our program now. Now we have business coaching calls and mindset coaching calls.
Got it.
So I found if you have a business coach and they don't really do like full-blown mindset, you need both. They are one in the same, because I have found that when someone has some type of fear or self-limiting belief coming up, it's totally affecting the success of their business. And sometimes they will actually repel the things that they're telling me that they want. I want clients, I want impact. I'm like, well, wait, it's here. You have opportunities. And then they just fog it completely out because there is deep-rooted things that they're not working through mindset-wise. So that's how I handle it now. I now have to ask, now in my vetting processes and my sales processes, I have to gauge where they're at mindset-wise. They have to be at a certain threshold in order for us to help them and empower them and for this to work for them.
Excellent. So you can already do some kind of sorting out ahead of time and figure out, and of course, get your business to the point where you're able to pick who you want to work with, which was the whole point in the first place, was like, I want to work with people.
I want to honor that. But to further this point, yes, we do mindset work because business is mindset, life is mindset, and we do a lot of that. We have our own mindset frameworks, tools, all that incredible stuff. But now I found like sometimes people come to me and they think that they're ready, but they're not. They got a lot of stuff to work through. So now I have a tribe and I have referral partners that I love and trust and I believe in their processes, some mindset coach and spiritual worker coaches. I'm like, hey, I think this is what you need first. And then I think you'll be ready to really commit to building a business, because it's a commitment.
Yeah.
It's not this light, like, I'm just going to start a business and blah, blah, blah. It's a commitment to your purpose, to this greater vision. And that is what I found is when fears come up, people are like, oh my God, I actually have to start doing this now. So now I can gauge, I can help people even more now that I'm aware of this and say, I'm not the person for you yet. Go to this person that I believe can help you. And then let's go from there.
Which is actually a really mature concept. And it's something that's very counterintuitive, is that I don't want some other coach taking my business, right? But you're in such a world of abundance, and that's where we are, right? It's like, if I'm not the right coach for you, there really is nothing better for, I think, for your spiritual realm anyway, but then also just for as a business, as a coach, as somebody who's going to be respected, to say, you know what, I'm not the right fit, but this person over here is actually going to be better for you, and go reach out to them and and give them business, and that's just going to do nothing but reciprocate to you and help out. And that's a great, I love that you said that.
Thank you. I received that. I love that you said world of abundance. That's the word I thought of. I was like, abundance, baby. Like,
Yeah,
we're in the infinite game. Here's the cool thing. We hire multiple coaches throughout our whole lifetime of being in business, right? There's more than enough to go around. And
absolutely.
I believe if we are really here to truly help people, then it is our duty to direct them where they need to go, whether it's us as the coach or to someone else.
I think that's awesome.
It's going to come back tenfold. It always does.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
I totally agree. Like so as a parent, like my kids, I'll say something 100 times and then somebody else will come in and say the same thing. And like, oh yeah. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like I've been telling you since you were 4, don't, whatever. But yeah, so it's totally the same thing. So I have and that's just such a great way to look at it. Which leads me to a couple more things. I don't want to take too much of your time, but like I said, I just needed this engagement because it's so good.
I love this.
So whenever you are looking, like, where's your best pool of finding new clients, and where's like the place you love to fish to get new clients to come in your door? How's your setup like that?
Yeah, awesome question. So I think it's two categories. So I love doing in-person stuff. Like I used to do workshops out here in Orlando where I moved from. We built a really awesome community here. I did a lot of pitch competitions with my first company. So I feel like I was birthed into that in-person realm, and I love that and I honor that. But then I realized that I wanted to scale my company and my movement. So then I went into the online world. So now I appreciate the balance. So for us, we love Facebook. Like I believe that Facebook is not dead. It is not saturated. You'd be surprised at the inner workings and the niches and the things that you could do with it. And I have found that a lot of people, when they're searching for a coach and they're not like down to go to the local networking event and go find a coach, they'll go to Facebook to find, different groups, right? Facebook groups, different interests to go find people. And what we do is we engage in meaningful conversation and we go from there. Say, hey, do you want to be a part of our movement? Do you want to be on our Facebook Live show? It's just it's a bridge between the real world and the online world, I believe. Right. So Facebook for us, we double down on that. I also heard Instagram is really amazing for coaches. I want to dabble in that in the future, in the short-term future, but not yet. I'm going to just take one social media platform at a time. Right. And then to bring back in the balance of the in-person engagements, so I've been speaking for a couple years now, but I haven't spoken much under the Purpose Pioneers umbrella. So now I'm really bringing to surface for 2019 speaking engagements, but using that as an avenue to speak in front of my ideal client or speak in front of people that are going to bring this message back to my ideal clients, and use that as a platform to, yes, invite people into our transformational coaching experience, but also spread the movement, spread the message. So it's a twofold there. So that's my two-prong approach of speaking engagements and Facebook all day long. I love it.
So I get the Facebook thing. So then on a face-to-face, one-on-one speaking engagement, how does that materialize for you? Do you have just a lot of connections that you personally know, or how do you get that momentum going? I'm only just, it's such an interesting world. We're so social media driven. Yeah. And then to step outside and go live, sometimes you have a much better response, because if you're face-to-face, one-on-one with somebody, it feels like, I see you, you're a real person, right? So how does somebody get into that realm as far as speaking?
So I'm just getting into it. So first, I had that same feeling. I'm like, okay, I'm so in the online world. I want to get back to the real world here.
Right.
What do I do? Like, what is the first step to get back into the speaking game and this community? So I didn't know the answer. So I was like, okay, well, I need to do an in-person event. I was like, that's the first inkling I knew. It's like, if I want to be in person, I got to do something. So I totally believe in manifestation and believing, of course, taking action, but having these visions and things that I want to do, and then they will manifest into my life. So at that exact time, I met this woman who's like, I run this 3-day speaking accelerator where we band together people who want to do speaking engagements, and we create a talk and we get you connected to the community. I was like, sign me up. I have been wanting this. So that was my first step. And for anyone listening, if you want to get back into the speaking game, go do like a speaker retreat or a 2-3-day intensive experience where you can feel that energy and be back in that world. And I mean, speaking as business and real estate, I mean, it's built on relationships. We're humans. We're built on relationships.
Right.
The relationships accelerate so quickly when you are there in person. So that was my first step. I did that in October, and it's been amazing since there. I've just been cultivating these relationships. I signed up for a few different platforms to see what speaking engagements are out there. I do some applications online, but I also just leverage the people that I know and that believe in me and want to have me on their stage, and I go from there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's exciting. Yeah.
Just keep momentum going and just keep, like you said, fail early, fail often, and just keep, and it's going to knock it out of the park.
Exactly. Just got to keep the momentum going. Just if you ever feel stuck, just do something that makes you feel that forward motion, even if it's getting out of bed and just getting out of your PJs and going to the co-working space or going to do some errands, right? Whenever we feel sticky, we just got to do something to feel like we're moving. And then that momentum will always keep building in all areas of our life.
Well, I know there are people who are going to be watching this who are like, Alex is awesome. I want to like dive into that world a little bit. So tell us just a little bit about how somebody can get like connected with you, and what's the best way to reach out and start if they're the perfect fit. How do they approach you?
Yeah. So as you all know now, I'm really active on Facebook. So add me on there. You can just type in Alex Agresta. You can type in the word purpose. It's pretty much like my new name now that I'm synonymous with my name, and I'll pop up right away. Please shoot me a friend request on there just so we can get to know each other, engaging, meaningful conversation. That's how I met William. I was like, hey, you're awesome. What are you up to? And now we're doing this amazing stuff. So adding me on there. We actually have a Facebook live show where we champion purpose-driven coaches. So that is, I'm always looking for incredible humans to be on the show. And then also on Facebook, we have our Facebook group, which is called the Purpose Sphere, like the atmosphere, but the purpose sphere.
I love it.
Yeah, I actually got to add you to that now that we had this awesome conversation, so you can be a part of it. It's just a place to cancel out the noise, really talk about stuff that matters. I know the online world can just be bogged down with just a bunch of stuff. So we want to cultivate this place where everyone feels heard and we can talk about meaningful things and further this movement together. So that is all the Facebook stuff. And then you can check me out on alexandriaagresta.com and then purposepioneers.com. Just my name and then our business name. And we will all find each other. We'll all get connected to the interwebs in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, Facebook's my jam. That is the best way to get into our world and you can get to learn more about each other.
Well, I just want to give you a little shout out. Like, again, we've known each other for now, a very long time, 10 days or something like that. And in that time frame, I would just say that one of the most effective things that really caught my attention about you was that I do a lot of Facebook Messenger, and I do a lot of just instantly talking to people. I'm not a big fan of chatbots and that kind of stuff. People use them and they're good at what they do, I guess, but I just feel it's very inorganic, and it just feels like I get a chat bot from somebody like, oh, whatever, I don't know, I don't pay attention. But I love to get that one-on-one connection. And what was awesome about Alex is that we connected, but then you just went onto the Facebook and it was just a voice record, which I've done before and I've had people do, but it's just so much more engaging just to do a quick voice message, because now I've got your face and then I hear your voice and there's a tone in your voice rather than talking. And it's just those little nuances. So it was really clear right there that you kind of rose up to that top in my mind of like somebody I really wanted to connect with, right? Because I get messages from 10, 15 different people a day from I reach out constantly, bam, bam, bam. And you just did something to separate yourself. And it was simple. And it wasn't as intrusive as like doing a video and like, hey, what's up? Whatever like that. It was just a real simple little message. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah. So I started voice messaging you back. It was awesome. So I'm like, it was great. So I feel like I've already talked to you and we've already had this little bond thing. So saying that, it's just anything you can do to cut out the noise in the online world and make yourself a real person. So I just wanted to say thank you for that. That was awesome that you did that.
I love that. I received that. Yeah, I discovered the voice memo tool and I was like, wow, this is authentic to me. People can see my picture, and I want people to feel heard. That is a part of my personal purpose, making people feel heard and worthy. And I believe we can do that through so many platforms and mediums, and look what it leads to.
Yeah.
That's an epic conversation, and we are going to be connected now for the rest of our coaching days. This is what this authenticity and this realness and just taking aligned action does. It's beautiful. So thank you. I received that. And I love that. And I'm glad you voice memoed me back.
Yeah, that's right. It was cool. It was fun.
I'm gonna do it back now.
That's right. Oh, it is. Yeah. So I will go ahead and wrap this up here. But before I do, I want to just ask: is there anything that you would like to, anything that's on your heart, something I haven't asked you, or something that you would just love to share? That just kind of like you've got no reservation about just speaking your purpose and speaking your heart. And I love that you don't feel, I don't feel at all like you're, afraid of just speaking it like it is. But what was anything that you want to just kind of say that you've been kind of wanted to hit on and I haven't given you the opportunity yet?
Yeah, I thank you for holding the space for that. I do something similar on my Facebook Live show. I'm like, what are your closing thoughts? Like, what are you feeling right now? And I think what's coming from my heart right now is a mantra that I live by. I'm not sure if I said it or my business partner or maybe both of us in the early days of our business, but it came out of one of our mouths. It's that things don't take time, they take courage. And nice. I share that with you, for those of you listening, whatever it is that you have on your mind of what you want to do in your life, your relationships, your business, remember that it does not take time. You don't need certain things. You don't need to be ready. You don't need to wait for something. It takes courage. It takes curiosity. It takes standing unshakably in your truth and speaking it to the world. So just remember that whatever it is that you want to do, I always say, put your courage cap on, just put it on, live in that, and you'd be surprised at the things that you create in the now and not later.
Well, I can't possibly follow that. That's awesome. That was gorgeous. So, but no, it is. That is incredibly powerful. So thank you so much for just taking the morning here and just having a conversation, and would love to stay connected with you. So everybody, Alex Agresta, and thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Have an awesome day.
Wow, that was awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in and checking us out. New episodes are coming out every few days, including lots of conversations with massively successful coaches sharing their secrets with you. So be sure to subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel so that you don't miss out. And if you're looking for a way to start making serious money from your coaching, you need to check out my free training. It's at williamwinterton.com. I lay out the step-by-step on how to start making 5 figures a month in the next 60 days. Check it out, williamwinterton.com. I'll see you next time.